next, we're going to honor somebody else who's become like a brother to me. And back in 2009, I got a phone call from Jonathan Goodess, who ran the New York State Defenders Association up until a year ago. I sat down with Jonathan. If you don't know Jonathan, God bless you. But it was supposed to be a 15, 20-minute conversation, and Jonathan and I talked for 2 hours. And he mentioned this guy, Jeff Deskovich, who was an exoneree, who started up this foundation called the Jeff Deskovich Foundation for Justice. And he said, you two guys should hook up. And we hooked up. And I'll tell you, Jeff has been a constant, especially with the exonerees. He's really kept the exonerees on their toes. He's helped bring them to Albany time and time after, week and week, month after month. When they were all getting tired and frustrated too. Anthony and the others, and so on, who just joined us this year. Days, he was exonerated in last December, after he was retried 5 times. So when, I just got to say this quickly, the 3rd time Selwyn was retried, he was able to prove that he was in North Carolina at the time of this alleged double murder. So what do you think the prosecutors and the police did? They changed the date and the time of the murder. So, not unheard of. But, and Jeffrey's become a real pal. We've had the opportunity to joke around and have a lot of fun together. We're going to be traveling together. There's a lot of states that are calling us at the Innocence Project to start a commission with us. And Jeff as well has provided his home in the Bronx as a resting ground for me and others when we have to come to New York City and work the boroughs and work the senators and work the assemblymen. So Jeff, my dear friend and brother, I'm not going to call you up here yet because Bennett Gershman is actually going to present the award to you.
Yes, Mark.
First, I'd like to congratulate Judge Pop, Steve Adams, Councilwoman Eureka, and all the other wonderful recipients of awards this evening. This is a special moment for me, one because this is a very special occasion. We just won a huge battle in the war for justice. It's your victory. Enjoy the satisfaction of creating something historic, something that's never been done before, something that at one time seemed inconceivable. A little over a year ago, Bill Bastick, myself, and Jeffrey Deskovich were invited to Peekskill, to Peekskill High School by the NAACP to participate in a panel discussion on prosecutorial misconduct, wrongful convictions, and this new far-out legislation to establish a commission to regulate prosecutors. Very few people believed that this was possible. Certainly Bill did, Steve Downs did, and Tom Hoffman did, but very few people thought that this was something that could really happen. Anyway, as we gathered in the cafeteria at Peekskill High School, I chatted with some of the NAACP officials, some of the Peekskill officials, some of the teachers at Peekskill High School. And then walked down the long hallway to the large auditorium, passing a bunch of classrooms on the way. I wondered what Jeffrey Deskovich must be thinking, feeling, Because almost 30 years ago, this 17-year-old teenager who attended Peekskill High School, who ate in the same cafeteria, walked down the same hallway, studied in the same classrooms, was ripped from his environment, handcuffed, thrown into a cell, interrogated by the Peekskill police for 7 hours, until finally, crying uncontrollably on the floor in a fetal position, confessed to raping, killing a 15-year-old classmate, Angela Correa. Jeff was tried and convicted based entirely on his confession. Maybe you're innocent, the trial judge declared before sentencing Jeff to life in prison, but the jury has spoken. And for sure, the jury and the community has spoken. Jeff was reviled, hated, an outcast. He spent 16 years, half his life, in a small cell in Elmira State Prison. Let's call it what it is, a cage. In a cruel and unforgiving facility, which the Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor recently remarked, denies your existence, denies your humanity, and implies that you are not a citizen of a democracy, but the subject of a carceral state, just waiting to be cataloged. Now, 30 years later, having been exonerated, and back in the same high school, Jeff was lauded as a young man of valor, a champion of justice, possibly by some of the same people who earlier had demanded his blood. Jeff, I'm sure we all know, has become one of the most outspoken activists and lobbyists for reforming our criminal justice system, which we know is anything but. He's lectures to police and correction officials. He lobbies all the time for reform. He's written hundreds and hundreds of articles and has educated the public and the profession and actually improved the conduct of judges and prosecutors and police. I could add something about that despicable Westchester County former district attorney, Janine Pirro, who refused to test Jeff's DNA that would have proved his innocence. Her refusal caused Jeff to spend 6 more years in prison. But I prefer to laud the courageous actions of Westchester District Attorney Janet DeFiore, Pirro's successor, now the Chief Judge of New York's Court of Appeals, who engaged in extraordinary action on her part. She commissioned a report by 2 distinguished judges and a prosecutor who I happen to recommend, my great late friend, the District Attorney of Staten Island, Bill Murphy. And this report on the wrongful conviction of Jeffrey Deskovic details the tragic pileup of mistakes and carelessness, incompetence, and misconduct that robbed Jeffrey of half his life. With compensation for those lost years, Jeff, as we know, has established this wonderful foundation, the Jeffrey Deskovic Foundation, to prevent wrongful convictions in the future. His foundation has already exonerated 2 people. And William Holly, and there are 10 additional cases in the pipeline ready to be worked on for more exonerations. Jeff has received so many awards, as we say, too numerous to mention. Jeff's dream, which he said when he was very young, dream of becoming a lawyer, law degree, he said, I can directly exonerate the innocent. Well, Jeff's dream will soon become a reality.
That's right.
Law school in May.
Turn to setback.
Take the bar exam and pass it, I guarantee it, because he's been my remarkable student and I've been his teacher. And my friend. To an incredible young man, a true servant of justice. I'm very proud to have been part of your life. Thank you. Exoneree, advocate for justice reform, founder Jeffrey Deskin Foundation for Justice, October 25th, 2018. Yeah.
Excellent moment. He came to the war, he came back leading the pack. Yeah.
I do believe that my role in the world is to fight wrongful conviction. From raising awareness to policy changes to freeing the wrongfully convicted. That's how it makes sense of the 16 years that I spent in prison. While I always try to enjoy the moment, and I think that that's really important to do, you know, and I thank God for my freedom. Yet also, I've tried to first remember the people that I metaphorically left behind. That's the first thought in my head before I think about enjoying the moment with the people who are sharing those with me. So I will go really quickly, and share a few slides to supplement. I remember J.J. Velasquez, who's still fighting for exoneration now, with several witnesses recanting the actual perpetrator who identified the initial reports of the police having confessed to several civilian witnesses who remains in prison wrongfully. His mother, Maria Velasquez, has some health issues, so she would be with us tonight, and she asked me to just convey that she would have been here. I remember John Juga, whose wrongful conviction was recently overturned after 14 years on prosecutorial misconduct grounds, but nonetheless remains incarcerated because the judge refuses to grant him bail. Why? Because the last time he went to a jury, he was convicted. Well, the jury had been infected by the misconduct and withheld information. I remember Andrew Prevac, who's a foundation client, Anthony DePippo's co-defendant. Imagine being wrongfully imprisoned in the same set of facts that your co-defendant, who's listed in the National Register of Exoneration, is walking around free for 2 years, but you're in prison still. And by the way, the same person who coerced the false confession at Andrew Prevac is the same villain in my case, Putnam County Sheriff's investigator Daniel Stevens. I remember Michael DeLoe from Pennsylvania, who, suffice to say, remains wrongfully imprisoned despite a DNA test showing that semen found on the underwear of the victim did not come from him. His mother, Marian Lubis, is here with us tonight. Remember Adam Brazil, who was wrongfully imprisoned, whose conviction was overturned, but who nonetheless was sent back to prison, but who continues to fight for his freedom today. His sister Christine, his advocate, is with us here tonight also. Last one, Ann and John Alexander, who were going to embark on an international tour. But imagine being charged for a second, right? Dallas, Texas, with 3 counts, and all of them being dismissed upon your demand for trial. Imagine being charged with 1 count in Houston, Texas, where although that was dismissed upon demand for trial. Imagine being hit with 49 counts in New York, and 39 of them were dismissed upon demand for trial. Imagine all the other ones being dismissed also, but upon condition that in order to get exculpatory evidence that you need for your habeas petition in California, the prosecutors made him take a deal for 1 count to get the exculpatory information. You say, does that ring a bell to anyone? Is there something wrong here? So he continues to fight the case in California. He was originally hit with 59 counts. 35 of them were dismissed before trial. He was acquitted of some charges. The jury deadlocked on others, but convicted him on 15 counts. So he's seeking justice now with a lot of great evidence that was obtained in part through that terrible deal. There's a commutation petition pending in front of Governor Brown. So hopefully we're going to round up some more high-profile letters in support of that. The foundation's letter is certainly there. You know, lots of red flags. I'm not going to go over them because I'm being short, but just take a photo if you like. Lots of commonalities of prosecutorial misconduct and inadequate lawyering went into that wrongful conviction case. So having said that, and by the way, Mother Sashi is here with us from India, okay, determined to sentence. So I just want to bring home what we're talking about. It's one thing to say, you know, I was arrested at 16, I lost a trial when I was 17, I was in prison 17 to 32. It's one thing to say it, okay, but I wasn't the adult that you see now. I wanted to show you real fast, super quickly. This is my mugshot, obviously. This is what I looked like in the courtroom when it was announced that the jury had made a verdict, but it hadn't as yet been read. This is me when I was given a 15 to life sentence, having been charged as an adult. This is me early on in Elmira Correctional Facility, a men's maximum security prison. This is what we're talking about. And you see before, right? And you can see after. This is when I was exonerated. This is opening the foundation. William Lopez, our comrade, our friend, who passed away after 23 and a half years imprisonment. He was free for a year and a half only. This is a press conference at my foundation office when we were looking in Manhattan. Our second exoneration, William Hawley, which you saw Rita DeVay accept the award on behalf of Jabbar Collins. So this is an exoneration that she achieved while the staff attorney with the foundation. Okay, this is when I got the master's degree. This is after one of the presentations on best practices and ethics with the police officers. And this is at Pace Law School. So I am so happy that Judge Block got the award that he's going to be getting right after me for his great work when it comes to prosecutorial misconduct and wrongful conviction. But we should not be fooled because of that award for this one exemplary judge as to not recognize that there's a problem in general with the judiciary. The average length of wrongful imprisonment is 14 years. Often by the time people are exonerated, their appeals have long since been denied. If you were to read the summaries of those cases, you would see plenty of red flags along the way. Yet, the convictions were not reversed despite obvious grounds for doing so. We need to somehow dialogue and reach the judges on a national level, that the finality of the conviction, right? In other words, today, the idea that we can't keep going through this. When is enough enough? You had your day in court, you lost, right? That is one concept, right? Finality of conviction that gets in the way of accuracy. I think that whenever there's an objective reason to review a conviction, that it should be reviewed. I think that we're so far away when it comes to the exaltation of proceduralism over substantive justice. The bedrock principle of the justice system is supposed to be that the guilty are punished while the innocent go free. Yet, procedure has come to mean more. I lost in federal court because my lawyer filed the petition 4 days too late. 4 days too late, and that was considered to be more important than my innocence argument. Forget about why I was late, which had to do with misinformation by the court clerk. So we need to somehow reach out. I showed you the pictures on my journey. I want to say that the foundation and myself, we salute if it happened to you. We're so humble and we're so happy to be part of this coalition that helped to pass this historic legislation. And the last point I'm going to make, is that first, second, last, I'll be really quick. We do have a re-entry game, Recharge Beyond the Bars re-entry game. It facilitates reintegration of formerly incarcerated people, lots of icebreakers there. So this is what the game looks like. This is the website. A quote from me: "The formerly incarcerated and all who play this game will bond, laugh, and heal." And I do believe that. Leslie Robinson is in the back. She has the game. Leslie, you want to stand for just a quick super second and wave? Leslie, part of the game, she made the game, I co-wrote the game, but I use it. And so lastly, I might have gotten the award, but really, from amongst my comrades, from the falsely accused and exonerated, the award really is shared with you. From when I call you, when I text you, from doing a speaking engagement to participating in a press conference, to trading your privacy in exchange for awareness by doing a media interview, to walking the wall, to doing a sign-on letter. When I called you, you answered the call in the fight against wrongful conviction. Kudos to all of those people, and their pictures are here, from the falsely accused but acquitted H. Posh Jr., going over the photos, to William Lopez, to Divine Whitfield, to Lorenzo Johnson, to Keon Katibi, to Anthony DePippo, to Selwyn Days, who's with us. Anthony, you know he's here. Selwyn's in the back. To exonerees who couldn't make it tonight, but were very much part of our effort. From Derek Hamilton, 20 years, Everett Wagstaff, David McCallum, Kareem Bellamy, Raymond Santana, Board Member Jennifer Wilcoff, fighting for exoneration Frank Vetro, exonerated Jabbar Collins, who came late but came nonetheless. Thank you for coming. To Johnny Capiet. All of us responded to the call, from Bill, from myself, to the higher calling, to the sacrifice, to the long trips to Albany, to giving up personal things, all in the name of not one more person to be wrongfully imprisoned. And to that, everybody, that name I just called, kudos. Kudos to all of you. Thank you so much. As we take this battle to get discovery reform in New York, to spreading the commission, our Pennsylvania contingency, we're going to spread it in Pennsylvania, many other states. And one of the key people, I think, in Pennsylvania that we're going to be working with, the first man to ever use DNA testing in order to exonerate, for exoneration in Pennsylvania, is with us tonight. Vincent Moto, 11 years on a rape case of not committed. Thank you very much. Bill Bassett, anything happens to you. Thank you. Thank you, Jeffrey. So,
we have one more award to present tonight.